Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about whether or not Melody has been abused by the family courts down in Alabama. And definitely a name has been put on it. In my opinion, she is currently experiencing post separation abuse. Now, before we get into these topics, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion, and the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite is allowed. Now, you all may have heard of Mel Robbins. I absolutely love her. She is a motivational speaker, author, and life coach. I follow her on Instagram as well as YouTube. She actually created a video called Before You Divorce a Narcissist, Watch This. And during her video, her guest was Dr. Romany. Dr. Romany is a psychologist. They have a very interesting conversation about being married to a narcissist, having children with them, and then you're ready to divorce them and what the experience could be like because the narcissist is going to continue to try and bother you and they'll use the courts to do it. Dr. Romany breaks it all down. I want to give my opinion on what she says. Even Mel Robbins is going to be shocked by what she says. It sounds like a huge bummer, y'all. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the soundbite and then let's talk about it.
Leave my narcissistic husband or stay for the sake of my children. My 7-year-old is terrified of my husband when he rages. I don't think it's best for me to remain, but I'm wondering if I should wait until they are older or grown to leave. This right here is the question of all survivors who are in a situation like this. Rageful narcissist, likely not a good parent, child is scared of them, but then there is that big thing called family court. And the one thing the narcissistic person knows well is how to punish you. Now, once they figure out that messing with custody is going to destroy your soul, they're going all in. And most judges in this country will award 50% to the other parent if they ask for it, which is a lot of time spent away from the parent who's the healthier parent. And this is what people grapple with. And here's what's so challenging, Mel. This is one of those cases where I'm not going to be able to give a good answer because you're at the crossroads where you either get the divorce, deal with the custody setup, know that there's times your child is alone with that parent that they're scared of, okay? Or you stick it out. Some parents get solace from knowing they're present, so at least they can run interference for that child with this toxic parent. They might wait until the child they feel is like more able to sort of autonomously make needs known. There is no right answer here. Some of this is going to come down to money. Are you going to be able to secure housing for you and your child and your children the way you want? Getting access to mental health for that child before you ever make a decision on a divorce is crucial. Because I can promise you this, once that marriage splits and you don't make the proper stipulations in the parenting agreement, that parent will stop therapy. I see this happen over and over again. They insist on two-party consent for things like mental health services, and then the narcissistic parent won't sign. It's back to court, back to court, back to court. So get that child into therapy while you only need the signature of one parent because you're both still married. Get your ducks in line. Talk to a divorce attorney. Pay whatever they charge for an hour. Go in there prepared. Tax returns, whatever you need, and ask them, what am I looking at? What are the laws of this state? Because they're different in every state. What am I looking at with custody? What am I looking at with money? I think the problem is that too many people don't go into this conversation prepared. Marriage is a legal contract. Make no mistake, people read their rental car contracts more carefully than they understand exactly what the hell they're getting into when they marry someone. And so figure this out. Even if you're not going to get divorced for 10 years, getting that clear feedback from a divorce attorney makes a huge difference in your decision making. When I read a message like this is the first time somebody vocalizes that they're considering leaving, I know that they're on their way out. It may take 5 years, it may take 8 years, they might even wait till that child's 18th birthday, which I cannot tell you how many people I know waited till midnight on their child's 18th birthday. And then they started the process. By that next day, they had filed for divorce, no custody. I have to be honest with you. I really wish you were going to say, get out now. No. Because never. I know I'm just being honest because you want a clear cut. I know. Answer. And there's not one. There's not. The systems don't allow it now. Family court is one of the most abusive systems in this country. There are people involved in court reform. The stuff they bring to me, I'm thinking, this is not in the best interest of the child. If you get unlucky with a judge, you're screwed. Well, and also, I think all of us have some friend or family member that is watching a divorce play out a decade later, constantly going back into court because it's a way for somebody with a narcissistic personality style to continue punishing and being in control. Yep. It's called post-separation abuse. It's a formal thing. Post-separation abuse. They keep going and going and going. But I will say this, and something I tell many, many parents, a mistake they make. I think too many people are like, I'm going to fight for my child no matter what. And the narcissistic person grabs onto that and like, oh, is that your weak point? But I remember once coaching a woman and she wanted to play this whole mother lioness thing. I'm like, slow it down. And instead, when they were having one of these many hearings they'd go through, she said, and she was dying inside at the agreement that was coming down the pipe. And she said, okay, that's great. You know what? Actually, these alternate weekends, this is going to work great for me because there are so many friends I've been wanting to connect with, and I've been wanting to get back into some of this, the hiking and climbing I was doing. This is actually, I'm going to really use the weekends well. You know that fool? He's like, what? Yeah, no, don't think you're just gonna. No, wait. And so when it got framed as, she was totally cool-headed. She said, totally fine, get it. I'm actually this is great. I mean, it's good to know this because I've been wanting to do this stuff and pursue this, and so I'll be using that time well, and I'm sure the kids will love spending time with you. And by the time the whole thing was done, 80-20 instead of the 50-50.
Okay, y'all, I thought that was an amazing breakdown. Shout out again to author and life coach Mel Robbins and psychologist Dr. Romany. This is great conversation. So, as you all heard, Dr. Romany is really a proponent for you getting your ducks in a row first. Don't just jump out there and file for divorce and then you're going to be gangsta about it and you're gonna I'm gonna fight for my kids no matter what and get that narcissist spouse all hyped up. She said, talk to a divorce attorney, let them know what type of person you're dealing with, and ask them, what am I looking at? What kind of a rough fight is this? Look at your money. What can you afford as a single parent with kids in terms of rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, and plan all of that out. And no matter what, remain calm when dealing with the narcissist. I'm going to circle back to these points for sure. So in the beginning, Mel Robbins was reading a question, and the question was, should I leave my narcissistic husband or should I stay because my 7-year-old is afraid of him when he rages? And Dr. Romany said, this is the question. This is the question. She said that when you're dealing with a narcissistic spouse, messing with custody as a means to bother you, to stress you out, to try and get you to react, they're going to go for it. So they're literally going to use the children that they helped create to be bothersome in your life, to stress you out, try and get you out of your mind as a means of punishment. Dr. Romany talked about, sometimes the kids, they are afraid of that narcissistic parent. Now, I don't recall hearing that explicitly, but what I do recall, and this is something that he even posted on his Instagram, like back in, I want to say the year was 2020, right? When Martell did not see the Eminem kids for, I believe that was 56 days, 8 weeks, because of the alleged beating to Tank. So one would assume that after experiencing such a harsh and violent punishment, that there could be fear, of that parent. So I definitely thought of that incident as I was listening to Dr. Ramani speak. Dr. Ramani said that you should know the laws in your state. I know that we've had discussion on my channel back when I would go live, when the episodes would air each week, and people would talk about depending on your state, if it's red or blue, Democrat or Republican, that can influence the way the judge who's presiding over your divorce case will make decisions. And we all know that Alabama is a red state. But Dr. Ramani said, know the laws in your state and how they could affect you. So she definitely, again, put in a lot of preparation before you leave. And she said, this was so interesting. Dr. Ramani said, get your children in therapy before the courts draw up the co-parenting agreement. Because once that co-parenting agreement is drawn up, then it will take both parents to sign on to the kids getting therapy. That is crazy to me. But I don't have any children. So I don't know, and I'm not married. So I don't know about making major decisions for my household with another person. I just know about doing them myself. If I have to hire a contractor to do something to my house, I choose that contractor. I make that decision. When I had my rental property and I was renting it out, I chose the tenant. I drew up the lease agreement. I had to make all those decisions myself. But if you are married to someone with children and y'all are going to divorce, the courts draw up that parental agreement. If you want to get them therapy, both parents has to sign. And Dr. Ramani said that if you're dealing with a narcissistic spouse, they may refuse to sign on to their children getting therapy. And I think that is a shame. And I remember making one of those, stroll down memory lane videos where Melody and Martell, this was after Melody left Martell right afterwards, and they decided to do a therapy session because Melody was saying that Boss Baby wrote a song, Why'd You Have to Break My Heart? She said that Tank seems to be angry with his dad because he didn't like how, his dad was treating his mom. And she said that Mariah had become reserved and was to herself. And she wanted to change those things. And so it made me think about how before Melody said those things, the therapist first asked Martell, why do you all think that we're here? And he's like, well, because of the kids, but I don't think anything's wrong with them. I think that they're doing fine. And then Melody had all those specifics about the children. So that would have been a shame. That would have been a shame if Martell refused to sign on to the kids getting therapy. So I'm so thankful that Melody has had the children in therapy all these years. That was very smart. And that, she's just so fortunate that she took care of that before the parent agreement was drawn up. And Dr. Ramani said, talk with the divorce lawyer first. Go ahead and pay them that hourly fee. Let them know what you're dealing with so that they can give you the real. And we saw Melody do that on the show. She spoke to the Caucasian lawyer, and he was telling her, he asked her, how long have you been married? She said, it'll be 11 years. He said, well, you're entitled to any sort of retirement benefit that he would get because you all have been married for 10 years. And she made him laugh when Melody said, woo, well, I'm glad I made it to 10 years, baby. And the lawyer giggled. And Dr. Ramani said that for a lot of people, it also boils down to money. You have to figure out what kind of housing can you secure for you and your children, one that you want. You want to be in a safe area with a strong school district. So I'm thankful that Melody has a very successful skincare line. She's on a popular reality TV show. And so she has those multiple streams of income. She collaborates with Jay Bolin. She's collaborating with Goli. So she's making that money to provide for her children. She's very fortunate because some people, they may not have that same setup. But Dr. Romany did talk about that. Now, Mel Robbins' response was actually my response. Mel Robbins said, I thought you were going to say, get out now, because when you hear of your friends, when they confide in you about their marriage, you feel like, okay, get out now. And I have to admit, y'all, that's been my mindset. Like, if someone tells you, they're getting beat or they're getting cheated on, my natural response is to say, well, I support you in whatever you want to do. And then if they want to leave right now, I'm like, yeah, go for it. My mindset has never thought like take your time and prepare. And also, if you've ever been in a situation where it was an abusive workplace, or if you're hanging out with people and they're trying to be disrespectful, you do naturally just want to look for a new job, get into a new job ASAP, or leave that space where people are disrespecting you right away. So I feel like that is a natural response to tell someone to get out now. So I appreciate Mel Robbins giving that feedback because I think that it was very realistic. But Dr. Romany said, no, you have to prepare. And then she says, because family court is one of the most abusive systems in our country. Do you all think that Melody may have experienced some abuse by family court? Because I'm not a lawyer and it's not like I've been to all of their court hearings, I don't know. I know from what I've gathered from reading some documents and hearing some commentary from all of the amazing content creators, it definitely seems like the judge, I've thought to myself, is she a little catty? Is she like stereotypical in terms of the stereotype that women are catty to each other? Because I just kind of feel like, like when she put in the court documents that the ex-husband, the father was concerned about the children's best interest, but not the mother. I didn't like that. I didn't appreciate that. So I wonder, has she been abused by family court? What do you think? And then Dr. Romany put a name on it. She said that there's something called post-separation abuse. She said it's a formal thing. When a narcissist will try to punish you. And she said that we all may have seen someone they're divorced formally, but they continue to go to court over and over again because the narcissist wants to abuse their former spouse who left them and has moved on. And we are definitely seeing that now, in my opinion. And Dr. Romany explained that a narcissist will attach on to a hyper person, something that, gets you riled up, something that triggers you to clown. A narcissist will attach to that one thing and they're going to press that big red button. They're going to press your buttons to get you to react. Or if they're dealing with a spouse that gets hype, a narcissist loves that. So the way that you combat them is to remain calm, not just literally, not just being calm in your demeanor, the tone of your voice, or the words that you say, but legally in the courts, remain calm. And she gave an example of a lady who was able to be calm and just calmly react when her ex was triggering her. And then she said after some events and after a while, the 50-50 custody turned into 80-20, with the non-narcissist getting the kids 80% of the time. So I thought this was some great conversation. Definitely check it out. The video is only 15 minutes. After this, y'all, the next question that Mel read was, my narcissist adult son uses my grandkids to try and control me. What can I do? I'm paraphrasing. I did not get into that point of the conversation only because this is going to sound a little shady. But Dr. Romany was talking about how adult narcissists will try to control their parents and use up their money. She said they'll run up through their parents' money. And they'll use the grandkids to try and control them. When she was talking about them running up the money, I was like, well, I don't think that really applies to Martell and Marlene. No shade, and that's just my opinion, and I could be incorrect in that. But I do feel like I don't know if Martell uses the kids to control Marlene because she seems to be like she likes to hang out. She would always make it clear that she's not like this every day, all the time babysitter. But I think that he probably just like yells at her and gets a little aggressive, allegedly, and in my opinion, from what I've seen on the show, he may kind of turn up the heat to try and control her narrative, especially when she's on camera filming for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And so it was very good conversation. Definitely check it out. I'm going to add the link to Mel Robbins' video in the description box so that you all can check it out in its entirety. But what did you all think about the things that Dr. Ramani said? I know, again, when you are in a stressful situation, such as an abusive workplace, or when you're hanging out with family or friends and somebody is trying to be disrespectful, it is natural to just want to remove yourself immediately. But when it comes to divorce from a narcissist and you share kids with them, Dr. Ramani is saying that you definitely have to prepare. I thank you all so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And I hope that you have a fantastic day today, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.